people, and welcome to Cultivating Inner Beauty, where we're all about loving our healthy selves from hair, skin, and nutrition. And that, my friend, starts from within. I know it's been a minute, but I am back with part 2 of the fibroid journey. So be sure to look at part 1. I'll have it down below. And with that being said, let's get started with today's story. So once I found out I had these tumors in my body, and unfortunately I had the miscarriage, all of that kind of fueled me to be more consistent in my health journey. So I really was going hard in my workouts. I was going hard with just being more healthy, being more consistent, and I was doing that for the longest. I could actually share in another video all the things I did, but yeah, when I say I went hard with the supplements. I started learning about different herbs to take to help shrink them naturally. I felt like I did everything except acupuncture and the yoni stuff. But yeah, I did a lot of things to try to shrink it, and we're here now. I'm not going to discredit the things that I did because I do believe they were working, and here's why. I eventually went to the doctors to check to see how I was progressing. I was noticing that my stomach was getting smaller, but every now and then my stomach still looked like it was getting bigger or just bloating at certain times, specifically during my menstrual cycle. And of course, it's normal around that stage, but I still was having symptoms here and there, and so I just wanted to see what was going on. So I went to the doctors, and she checked me. She said I still had them, and yeah, that was pretty frustrating because I really felt like something was happening. And what confirmed what was happening was even during the times when it wasn't my cycle, I would still have like some bleeding that would happen in between the cycles, and I would also experience some discomfort. So I would actually have some pain in between, and it wasn't really, I guess it's similar to a cramp pain, but it was a little bit more intense. I can't really describe it. It was just some consistent pressure, throbbing pressure that I would feel off and on. So the doctor suggested surgery, and of course I'm all against it because I'm trying to shrink these bad boys naturally. I've done all this research, and so it has to work. I've seen other people, they get healed and they shrink them naturally, and I feel like I could do the same thing. And so I tell her about the routine and what I got going on, and of course she says it in a nice way. She's nicer than the first doctors I've interacted with, but she still believes in the same thing, that the natural way doesn't really work because there's no research, and so that's her beliefs. But my way of thinking is I'm trying to prove her wrong, and I'm trying to stay consistent with what I'm doing because I strongly believe it works. And so I don't go with surgery the first time, but I tell her to give me a couple of more months. Let's schedule for another x-ray maybe, and let's see where I'm at then. So some time goes by again, and the first time when I went to see the doctor, it was like a normal OB/GYN appointment, and she's just pressing on my stomach to confirm that there are fibroids. But this time around, I have an appointment with the technicians to have an MRI set up. And so an MRI x-ray is when you go in the little tunnel machine, and yeah, so that way they could really see what's going on with your body. They also do like regular ultrasounds, which is when they put the gel on your stomach and they could see the fibroids like that. And then they have another type of ultrasound where they could put the probe inside your vagina and check you like that. But then there's the MRI. So I had all these x-rays before. So I get ready for the MRI, and they check me, and then the next day I see uploaded in my chart that not only I have fibroids, but there's 20 of them. The report also read that not only I have 20 fibroids, but I also have some degeneration going on. When I saw that word degeneration, then I knew that what I was doing naturally was working. It was just taking its time. I went to the doctors again, and she asked me, am I interested in surgery again? This time I slowly said yes, but in the back of my mind, I feel like I've given up on myself because the whole goal was to get healed naturally. I've seen other people do it, and being a believer myself, I know that God could heal me. And so going the surgery route, it made me feel like I had given up too soon. So I'm still at this point trying to do things the natural way, but I'm getting kind of frustrated because I want these things out of me ASAP because it is the worst feeling. As the journey continues, I'm now having more of a heart-to-heart moment with God, and I'm being more intimate with Him. And I'll share another video with what that part of the journey actually looked like. But in this stage, I'm just learning to see God in different perspectives, and not to only consider Him as a healer if He does it this one way, but He could also heal me in another way, also known as surgery. And so I'm having a moment with that. But then the time comes and it's June. And so at the end of June, which was my surgery day, June 30th, 2023, that was the big day. So my husband took me to the hospital that early morning, and I wasn't anxious, but once they put that bracelet on me with my name and birthday, and once they started hooking up IVs and everything, that's when it got real. And that's when I started to get a little nervous because it was so many people coming in and out of the room that was helping me get set up. I was meeting so many people, it kind of felt overwhelming. One of the things that I appreciated with the hospital was how the whole team came in to introduce themselves and just give me comfort throughout the surgery. I think because the doctor know my history of not wanting to have the surgery in the first place, I guess she just wanted to reassure me that everything was going to be fine. So after the last person I met was the anesthesiologist, and he told me he was going to give me some medicine to relax. So I just remember him hooking me up, and it was like 10 seconds, just like he said, it was like 10 seconds. He was rolling me out of the room, and I remember him hooking me up with some kind of medicine. It was something right here, and I dozed off when time he was backing me into the elevator, and that was it. I was knocked out the entire time, and I just remember waking up in the hospital room in pain and soreness. When I woke up, I was extra groggy and very weak. Like, I felt like I couldn't even lift my hand. Everything just felt heavy, and I felt like I had like no strength left in my body. It was the worst feeling ever. And my husband, he was in the room with me. He told me that he was waiting in the waiting room for at least 3 hours. And I just remember nurses, they came in like clockwork every 3 to 4 hours, checking my blood pressure and checking my blood, taking samples, and also just seeing how I was doing and giving me pain medication. That's the main thing that they were doing that throughout the night. So I did not get any rest. I got sleep a little bit, but it was like a few minutes every hour, because if it wasn't the nurses coming in, then it was just the pain that was keeping me awake, and it was very, very uncomfortable. The pain was so bad I would cry, and mostly because of the pain itself, and then how frustrated I was because I was so weak. And to feel like that, just to feel not loose, but you just really feel heavy, it's a very bad feeling. And so luckily I had some great nurses in the evening shift that was very supportive and helpful, and my husband especially was very helpful being there. He stayed the night in one of the chairs, and so he slept there, and I just tried to sleep the best way that I could. But the next day, I tried to eat a little bit more. It was hard to really eat. When one of the nurses came in, she told me that they actually had to take out over 40 fibroids. So that was like double the number that the doctor originally told me. So I was like, what in the world? Where did all those come from, and where were they hiding? Because, you know, like, you ever see like other people fibroid stories and pictures, their stomach look way bigger, things like that, but mine, I really couldn't tell where they were hiding. And so yeah, I had over 42 to be exact, and I'll have a picture right here. But yeah, it was crazy. It was a lot. And yeah, so anyway, they took some more samples. The doctor came in to check on me for a little bit, and that basically was it. And yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot. So I am currently on week 2 of healing, and I tell you, all the prayers that I've received, they've definitely been answered. Because at first, just seeing how I wasn't able to walk and everything, and how much support I physically needed after going through something like that, it's a lot, and it would really take a lot out of you if you don't have that support system. I will share in another video all of the other things that I didn't really go into detail with, but I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you're experiencing fibroid symptoms as well, then be sure to get those looked into, and whatever journey you're on, whether natural or medical, then do what's best for you. But subscribe, and we will talk next time. Bye, beautiful.